Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the annual parish meeting, which is your meeting to talk to us, and you're not restricted on 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. So, thank you for coming. Let's start with. We've got apologies for this, no?
No, not for this.
No. We got to approve and accept a record of the notes from the annual parish meeting, 19th of May 2022. We've all seen them, haven't we?
I didn't get any, no.
No?
It's the other two.
We had them last year, didn't we?
Yeah, we had them last year. Also, they haven't changed. That was fine last year. Yeah.
They're happy with the sign,
Sorry.
everybody happy with the sign?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can be signed. Right. So once I've signed that, I have to read out my statement from the year. So I'm pleased to see you all here. Like to see more people and get their views and what they would like to see us do. After all, you vote for us. So we're your council. We're not here to tell you, you're here to tell us. So, but there. Highlight of the year, I would say, was the appointment of our clerk Rowena. I can't thank her enough for helping me understand council matters. There's a lot to learn, and we're all still learning. She's come to us with a wealth of knowledge and understanding of how councils operate. And we now have many policies in place that keeps us legal and allows us to operate. We've got a functioning website which shall help us keep you informed. We've purchased up-to-date software which we can all have a clear view of finances and produce spreadsheets that are not just for us but for parishioners as well, to see where your money's spent. And it also keeps us transparent. Platinum Jubilee, there was a fete held at the school. It was well supported. It raised some funds for local organisations, and I think a good day was had by all who attended. The old water pump outside the school was restored and painted in the Jubilee colours by a very kind parishioner who has served this parish well for many, many years, but wishes to remain anonymous. So, thank you. As does the donors of some money to purchase a new bench, which is to be placed outside the school. Unfortunately, bureaucracy has got in the way and has stopped us getting this in place. But hopefully this should soon be resolved and we'll have the bench in situ. There was a clock which was purchased to go on the village hall as part of this, which was chosen by the village hall committee. And it's there. And that was what we did for the Jubilee. The playing field, this has proved very frustrating, but we're still going on with the rejuvenation of the play area and the field. Grants are being applied for, and finally we have some plans and costings to look over for the play equipment. Work is ongoing to tidy up the hedge, trees and fences surrounding the field, so hopefully you should soon see some action down there. Speeding through the village, it's always been ongoing. We've been in touch with the Road Safety Partnership, and we've looked at different ways that speeding can be discouraged. I personally would like to see the extension of the 40-mile-an-hour zone from Billingborough and Sempringham to join Pointon, and then continue throughout to Pointon past Millthorpe. At least then there's something legal in place that can help enforce speeding. At the moment it's just national speed limit, but that's my view. But things like that we're looking into all the time. And finally, on a lighter note, I don't know if any of you follow rugby, but it has to be mentioned, I think, that we have two very proud grandparents living amongst us in the village, who are lifelong parishioners, and they've got two grandsons playing for England. Lewis Chesham is captain in the 20s, and his older brother Ollie, who is now a first team regular. So, well done lads, brilliant. That is my statement. So I can now open the floor to your questions. Thank you. Fire away.
Can I just bring up the playing field?
Yeah.
strings and whatnot, or that. When we do get grants and that, have we got to match fund them? So if so, we really should start getting some fundraising going for them. That's the only thing.
Can I add to that then, please?
Yeah.
It's really good that there are some grants available and the parish council is going to be applying for them. It's very interesting what we say about matching. I remember back in August at the parish council meeting, the question came up yet again as to what became of the COVID grant that was awarded to the now dead Sports and Social Club. And, excuse me, Councillor Martin Hill reminded the parish council that the assets and liabilities actually remain with and stay with the parish council itself. Councillor Greenwood assured everybody that he would bring details of where that money went to the next parish council meeting, despite not initially wanting to do it, but Councillor Hill did say in the interests of honesty and transparency it would probably be a very good idea to explain and answer these questions that had been going on for some time. So I think perhaps this is a good time for, if there are any funds still remaining under Councillor Greenwood's control, that it might be a good gesture to actually start the fundraising off by passing some of that on towards the playing field equipment.
You want an answer from me?
Is there anybody else that's going to answer?
Well, it was explained where the funds were.
So where, can you remind us please? So everybody
Still in the bank
knows
account.
So would it be possible for some of that money to go towards the play equipment? And if not, why not?
I wouldn't like to say, to be honest with you. In the constitution, the club's constitution, it says it should be divided between like-minded establishments, which is the football club, the pool team, or if there's none of that available, then it would go to other sports and social clubs.
Who has control over that money?
Still the committee.
And the committee is who?
Do you want to name them all?
Yes, please. Can somebody on the Rowena, could you make a note of that, please?
Yeah, I'm visiting.
Yeah. I can't tell you without looking at the thing. There's Chris James, Paul Silverman, Mick Tite, myself, Kim Clark, maybe I wouldn't like to say that because we don't meet anymore, do we?
Well, I said this is a committee of an organisation that no longer exists. So whose bank account is the money in?
It's still in the Pointon Sports and Social Club.
And is that the name on the account?
That's the name on the account.
But somebody obviously has control of that, so...
Had the need arose to meet, then they would all meet.
I think it's important that the distribution of the money, I mean, it was, what, 2 years ago that the Sports and Social Club
A bit longer
folded?
now, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a long time for a considerable amount of money to be sat in a bank account doing nothing and not being allocated. So I still maintain this would be a good time for the good of the parish and the good of the village and the good of the playing field to put some of it towards the play equipment, because obviously it's not been desperately earmarked for either the pool club or the football club or the playing field association.
Because the play equipment would benefit the social club because, you know, that people would come down to football when the kids use the bar, and like you say, it's got to be connected to the football club, but surely, you know, their wives and kids come down there, so you could use that as sort of how it would work.
I think the majority of people, if they were asked what is important to you, they would say, get the playing field sorted, get some play equipment for our children, for our grandchildren. And it's just not happening, and it's very frustrating that there's a pot of money there, and it's not being handed over to anybody, it's not being transparently dealt with.
What do you think's been hidden then? There's nothing been hidden.
But it's not there.
Yeah, it is there.
But nobody can go and say, right, there was £10,000 X X thousands of pounds has been spent on this, and X has been spent on that, and the rest of it is going to be divided equally between this organisation and this organisation because.
Yeah.
So there is no transparency. There are
The parish
questions have not
council
been
asked
answered.
for the bank accounts, which was provided. They was very happy with that. The money is still in the bank account.
Why? Why? Over 2 years. Why is it still sat in the bank account? Why can it not go towards something that is beneficial for
I
the
can call a
entire
meeting
village?
of the committee and see what they say. That's all I can do.
Well, it would be a good gesture and a good start.
It may be a good gesture, but the constitution said it should be divided up between like-minded.
Yeah, well, as you said before, it's
Which
the
is-
parish council, is it? But
No.
I think the point is that there was a.
I understand where you're coming from, but
Yeah.
keep it legal
It's
and
not-
whatever
not-
you say.
not my
No,
question,
I'm just
right?
saying it's not in the constitution to do that.
Well, then the constitution needs to buck its ideas up and get a move on.
You can't just change constitutions like that. It's been like that for years.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore.
Well, apparently it does. While ever the committee's still there, it will do.
But the club doesn't exist. The money exists, and at the
Yeah.
moment it's festering away in a bank account when it could be put to good use.
Yeah. I'll call the committee meeting and see what they say. That's all I can do.
I think the play equipment, I included it in my statement because it has proved very, very frustrating to us all. It's been a very long drawn out affair getting quotes to come back and getting people engaged. I mean, we have got, I'm looking for people to engage, to create some sort of committee for fundraising for that. We'd like people to come on board with that. I think with Rob, Christine, you two have been working together on the field, haven't you? And if anybody wants to come along and join in with them, great. Because the more ideas we band together and look at, the better. We get something that the village wants, rather than what a few
It'd be
people
nice
want.
if, you know, the parents, there's quite a lot of children in the village now,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to get those parents.
But we did the survey last year, got a fair bit of feedback, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We have got a few people that are interested. I've got their email addresses.
Oh,
It's,
excellent.
if you want the email address, we'll send another letter out.
Can I just point out to you that maintenance of that play equipment has always been done by the Sports and Social Club. Refurbishing the roundabout, new swings, all that was paid for, nothing to do with the parish council. So don't forget money has been spent on that from the Sports and Social Club.
I hazard a guess as to when that was. When was the most recent refurbishment of equipment?
With the roundabout, about 3 or 4 years ago.
And is that
That was the
completely
last
up
thing that
to modern
The
standards
rocket's
as
away,
it was for?
but obviously there's different things to be done. That's still a way of getting blasted, but with the sound of things, they don't want it back.
we will have to come back. It's a massive risk, isn't it? So, whether it's recycled or not, it's got to come back.
Who doesn't want it back?
Sorry?
Who doesn't want it back?
It can't be recycled on those current mounts because they're rusted through, and it won't pass the regulations unless it's all done and up to spec. That doesn't mean to say it's not going to go back, but it can't go back on the existing mounts.
Does the parish council own them then, or the sports club own the equipment?
That's debatable. I think the Sports and Social Club bought it originally, and then like everything's passed over to the parish council.
Can I just say that years ago, in the very old minutes of Village Hall, the Village Hall committee arranged for all the playing equipment to be put on there, and it goes back years and years and years. It's a long, long time ago, and they set up a committee, and they got grants for that, along with the Sports and Social Club, which then did a combination, because they couldn't apply for some grants, and I know it was all put together, but it was with the combination with the Social Club, because there was Dave Windsor, I think, and then there was, that's right, yes. They organised it all, so it was a long time ago.
The play equipment was there before the social club was built.
Yeah.
All I
Yes.
all I found is
Yeah.
the asset register that says play equipment 1974.
Ah,
Yeah, as part of the old asset
Yeah.
register, yeah.
I know the parish council used to pay for the upkeep
That's right.
about
Yeah.
15 years ago,
Yeah.
when we put up the new rubber around the roundabout and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we did that, you know, on Sunday morning, but even then it was just, it always seemed like nobody really knew who was responsible for it.
It's there as a playing field, isn't it? On that register. But, I mean, that same equipment,
I know,
I was-
what are you going to say?
I was a little lad when that was put there, and it's still there some of it, so it was well would do a refurb and replacement.
Yeah,
So going back to your question about did it have to be match funded,
yes,
some of the grants you would have to match
Yeah.
fund,
yeah.
some of the grants that Rob and I found you
Oh,
don't
wow.
have to match fund,
Ah,
but it's
yeah.
finding the best
But
one.
they can apply for that one that was, yeah.
The prosperity fund.
Yeah, the one was on Facebook.
Yeah. Trouble with that one this year is SKDC only brought it out in February,
Yeah.
and their end of year for year one is actually got to have the work completed by the 30th of April.
Oh.
So, sorry, we ain't going to get that one done this year, but then we can start applying the 31st
Yeah.
of March onwards, and we will get a full year. So it will be classed as year two, but then we get a year to complete that project.
Mhm.
And at least we've got some costings in to start with, so it's
Yeah.
not like we're starting cold.
No.
But something is being done. It doesn't look like it, but it is. It's very much work in progress, but we're as frustrated as you are.
Thank you.
But, anybody else? Anything else?
An update on that drainage problem?
Well, according to Highways, they say it's been done. Well, I think that's very
Yes.
They've been down, they've had a look, they've tried to rod it, they've had cameras, they've had the water pulled out, they're now going to dig it up. They are going to dig it up.
They're gonna-
Why that's not wrong, but they are not going to do it till after the 5th of April.
Financial year.
But at least you got an answer on that, because
We didn't.
Yeah,
my answer, well, I wasn't allowed to know what they were doing because of GDPR, so therefore you could know, but I couldn't know, so I had to register it on Fix My Street to join in with your conversation,
they was there most of the day,
and all they've said to me is completed.
and they come all down the street and they had a problem at every drain hole. So,
It's been a problem for a long
yeah, well,
time.
the engineer first
I just
report.
found a book I had today that I've kept it actually before 2019.
Yeah.
I've got job numbers, I've got all sorts. I don't have my book to hold on. And basically, because I've forgotten about it, but I got so hacked off about it. My little book here has all these bits and pieces in it. I've got job numbers, all sorts, and it starts August 2019, but it does say at the start, this is the 5th phone call over the past 2 weeks, because I was waiting for Martin Hill to be here tonight, because I actually spoke to him about a year ago, when it was election
when the
time.
district council were being elections, he said, well, they told me it'd
It's
been
been
done. And there was a river running in front of
Had to
53
step
and
over it to give us the lead.
he said, well, it obviously hasn't. He said, I'll have a word. But
Yeah, but
Well,
the thing is, if you get a job number, they send one of the things down, they suck out the stuff out of the drain, and apparently the operators are meant to be so skilled they can tell whether the rest of the drain going down the road is blocked or not by the amount of water that comes. And they say, job done, job closed.
And it was interesting, as I say, when Chris moved next door, and she sort of talking about it, and she phoned up and they sort of said to her, well, we don't know anything about this. And this is 2022, it was then, at the end of 2022, and it's been going on for over 4 or 5
Well,
years.
when the previous people were there, they got somebody out and they said they couldn't put the camera down there, so there was too much water. So they'll come back I mean, we've had the dry summer last year for God knows how many years.
There's been a
And they
problem
never-
down
never
West
been
Road
in
for
that
25 years plus.
And you know what though, they built all the new houses, and I bet they haven't done anything to improve the drainage system. They built in the dike
Yeah.
across the road,
Yeah,
and I bet they just,
that's the
Yeah.
problem.
yeah.
You see, it's when they sort of built 3 houses next to us and they filled that dike
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
that's when it started.
Yeah, it was.
It's basically all there.
They've added to it. But from what Alan was saying, they said where it is blocked is by your
55 and
driveway,
53.
in front of their driveway. Well, that is roughly where
That's
the
what-
dike used to end.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you had a bit for a tractor to get in, about 8 or 10 foot wide for a tractor to go into the field, and it was dike. And where somebody, God knows who, told the bloody developer that he could fill it in and put a 2 foot pipe in there, and obviously not connect it correctly. I
And
mean,
it just seems just simple solution,
Yeah,
they just,
yeah.
you know, it's hit there a brick wall time, but you know, it's just.
Planning frustrates me because we have no power whatsoever. We're allowed to review it
Yeah.
and look at it and give our opinion, but there's no power.
No.
And to me, local knowledge should be
Yeah.
used.
Yes.
Well, that
You're
bit,
just highlighting that.
the house they did side of Jay Hill, it's like, always used to be flooded
Yeah.
before they got those houses
It
there.
did, it did.
Yeah,
They just moved the problem further down.
yeah, yeah.
Well, a woman came to the from the council, you know, she spoke to you, didn't she? And what did she say? Nobody knows what they're doing in the office.
Too many people leave.
And she said, she called the water board out, which was annoying because Anglian Water had been out twice when we called them out. And she called them out again, and I said, but you've had all the things, my wife sent them all to me. She went, everybody's leaving in our office, nobody knows what they're doing.
Well, actually, we had Anglian Water come round to our house at
Very
8:45 one morning. Yeah, and you went and sorted him out, didn't you?
On Britain's Lane, we've got more issues from the dike flooding at the side of us, which adds to the issue of all the surface water on West Road. And I look back, it was 10 years ago I first raised it with Highways. They came out and put a new drain in, but that didn't actually stop the flooding. That just helped ease the water beyond.
There's always seems to be water coming out of there.
Yeah, well, there's an artesian well further across, which adds to it as well.
Oh, right.
But there's a collapse, definitely a collapse on the land drains on Britain's Lane. Because 3 years ago, the CCTV team from Highways came out, cameraed so far down, ran out of time, said we'll come back tomorrow, and the next day COVID kicked off. So we never saw them again. And literally last week I raised the whole issue again, and that evening, next morning, 7:45, Anglian Water turned up. So I said, it's not an Anglian Water issue. Yeah, we know what the issue is, and it's a drainage issue. But Anglian Water was very prompt. Unfortunately, it's the rest of the system that
Well,
was not.
as a parish council, we can't perform miracles. What we can do is support you and make noises to back you up. So I'm pleased they're actually going to dig it up, and let's hope they start to resolve the problem.
Well, I'll give them to the middle of April. If I've not heard nothing, then they'll get emails, phone calls,
Yeah.
it works again.
well, the thing is, that they'll do that, and it will clear the water going down there, and the 2 drains in front of our house, they'll just flood, because then they're flooding anyway, because the drains all the way down the street are blocked. They need to start from the bottom and bloody clear the lot out and just work their way out. Instead of, like years ago when we had that flood and everything was flowing down the street, they cleared out all the dikes up the top of the village, and then the water poured out of them into the dikes that hadn't been cleared out and flooded the street. I mean, they always seem to do things arse about face.
Yeah, I mean, the ditch clearing of the southern village wasn't council done, that was a private landowner doing that, which is entitled to do. But yeah, it's
It's not nice because it's all the stuff off the farm.
And also, you see, we've been lucky this year because it's not been much frost. But our little down driveway, when we have this sort of flood, I mean, at one stage, it was almost like a little pond there, you know, there was, children were actually sort of paddling in it on the way up from school. Because at one stage there was raw sewage actually apparently going into it. I've got here, into wherever it was French or whatever, from some of the fields at the back of us, and the water board came and sorted that out. But if it freezes, and it freezes on our driveway, it cracks the top, it messes our driveway up, and then you think, well now, have we got to repair that? Because it's not our fault, it's the council's fault really, and we've got all this evidence that we've told them about it, and they just totally ignore it.
Plus, the pond goes halfway across the road, and if that's frozen solid ice, I mean, I've thrown grit on it, what I got from outside the school, and it doesn't really do it because, you know, it's about 3 inches thick.
Yeah.
And if a car hits that, because they, you know, as you know, they don't stick to the 30-mile-an-hour limit, they'll hit that, they're going to take somebody's front wall or our fence out, or take something out, or somebody out.
Plus our windows, if they drive very fast through the large pool, sometimes it just splats on our windows. We've just got all this pile of wood on there. And you think, well, you know, this has been going on a long time. I know it's probably not sort of important today, but it has a knock-on effect, as you said, all the way down the village, and it's not good.
Well, when we had that planning meeting regarding the proposed farmyard being developed, they really hadn't done the homework on the drainage of the village. But that would have been an opportunity, if they wanted to build on that, to sort the drainage out on West Road. That's what I had in mind. Because they want to help the community get the drainage sorted, rather than just build. Because that's,
There's nothing happening with that.
it's all on hold. There was a change of policy on the Crown Estate, as I understand it, and all transactions were put on hold. So, but I do think they came unstuck at that meeting because they really hadn't done their own work on the drainage.
No, it's worrying that they're dealing with the public, and is it the preparation and planning prevents poor presentation, that sort of thing. And you sort of reported back to me about it, and you thought, well, you know, I used to teach, and if you were in school and you were sort of doing a lesson or something, and you were so badly prepared, you would get absolutely shot down. But to do something like they were doing, they didn't seem to have no knowledge of the village at all.
No.
And that, again, shows brick wall thing, isn't it, when you just hit your head against it.
Well, that's hopefully what we can bring, a bit of local knowledge as a parish council towards it. But you can't guarantee it unless
No, I know.
we do try.
We'll see what happens.
Would a grit bin down there be helpful?
The
A
what?
grit bin. Instead of you having to
Cart it
get
from the
grit
school.
cart it from the school.
Well, you'd have to get another grit bin.
Yeah.
I know the grit bin's there for people to get grit out to do up the road because we're not gritted. But I mean, nobody ever does really.
Would it make it easier
Yeah, I mean,
to
if it's
help with this problem with
But
the
where are you going
freezing?
to put the script in?
Well, that's
That's why I'm asking you.
You've got space to put it. Well, over the road, there's a lovely... There's a large driveway there.
a bit further up, you've got the field.
The big verge there.
By a paddock. There's a verge there which a grit bin would sit on,
Yeah.
and I would think the bit of grass that's there is got to be highways.
Because that is something I can ask if it would be helpful at that end.
Right, I mean, it would be, because not in a normal winter, if we get any snow, because the houses are so close to the road, you never get any sun on that bit of road, and you get a good, like, 100 metres stretch, which is just, if it snows, it just turns to ice.
That's probably what's blocking the train.
Unless they've changed the policy, you won't get grit bins off the council.
We had to buy
We had to buy the last lot, and you had to buy the salt put in.
After our hands.
But again, they used to fill this one up.
They'll fill them up that's already belonging to them, but they won't, even if you buy them. We bought some, I don't know
One
why.
outside the village
Three.
hall and one at Milford with all the yellow ones. And we then had to fill them up with the salt ones ourselves.
Yeah. They won't, even when they're in place, they won't come and put salt in them, you have to buy your own
Still
salt.
worth asking the
It's
question.
worth asking the
Point-
question.
Pointing out the
they may
problems
have
you've
changed
got,
it now.
And
we can use that.
saying that area,
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely stupid. Because I mean, they only used to see a gritter lorry when Gilbert was alive. He'd come over for his lunch. He used to he turned on. He'd grab his sandwiches and shoot off again down the road. And that's the only time we saw a gritty lorry. I mean, the people were worshipping them by the time because they'd never seen one before. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll ask the question, but this is a problem there, and see if they can do something anyway. Like I said, we're making no promises, but we can ask. So, anything else from anybody?
What an opportunity.
He's standing up.
Nobody else has
Come back.
Pointon Village Hall, AGM, end of April.
Yeah.
We need people, volunteers to come forward to join the committee. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there will be information put around the village, but obviously you do need to apply. If we have more than 11, then you have to arrange a vote. But we are one short at the moment. We've had one person retire, still health. And we all stand there at the AGM anyway. Therefore, please put your name forward for joining the village hall committee. Thank you.
Anything else from anybody?
I'm just going to say vote, as you've just mentioned, voting. A bit like you, this year is the year that all parish councillors step down and have got to reapply. I've got packs here for anybody that needs them and would like to be a councillor. This year it's going to that you need ID to vote. So it can be bus pass, off the top of my head, bus pass, driving licence, passport, your blue badge, anything really that's got your picture on. I was informed last night, even if your passport is out of date, as long as the picture looks like you, they will accept it. My passport is in date and it doesn't look like me, neither does my driving licence. But that's what's saying, they will accept your passports that are out of date as long as it's got a picture on. If you don't have any of them, there are ways of getting IDs so that you can vote.
You can apply for a pass.
Yeah, you can apply for a pass and a certain way of doing it. And I've been told they are going to be very strict, and if you do turn up with not the correct ID, they will send you home to get your ID again. But that is what they were pushing last night, that it's going to be that you need your ID this year to vote.
So if you fancy it, get a pack. Like I say, it's all our village, so like I said, we like to hear people's opinions. The more opinions you get, you're acting for everybody then, not just one or two. So, but, we're trying to get more people interested in here, but work in progress. Probably because it's a bit early. But, I mean, we'll have to bring it forward because of the elections, you see. That's normally this would be in May. It's usually a bit warmer and yeah, combination, yeah.
So am I right in saying that there's 7 seats available?
Yeah.
And what happens if there are 7 or fewer candidates?
7 or fewer candidates, it will be an uncontested election, and
So-
we will know that by April.
So nothing would change potentially.
No. If there's 7 candidates put their names in the ring or fewer, then it's uncontested. 8 or more, then it goes to an election
So 8 or more, and then the parish has got the chance to
to vote.
choose for themselves.
Yeah, to vote.
Yeah.
Costs a lot of money though, you ought to explain that, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Well, fortunately, it's a bit cheaper this year because there's
Yes,
district
there is district councillors. and-
elections as well. So
Yeah.
we will share the costs
Yeah.
with the district. There will still be costs even if it's uncontested,
Yeah.
but that's classed as an administration fee.
Mhm.
But the fact it's going to cost money shouldn't override democracy.
No, no.
But you should be made aware of it, as I say.
Well, nothing's free, is it?
Nothing is free in this world now.
But it is down that it has been budgeted for
Yes. So it's there.
within the preset, so yes.
The election is paid for, it's,
Yes.
it's
It's-
allowed
it's-
for.
It's, when the preset comes through, it has been budgeted for.
So we shall see. Get your facts. Anything else?
Just the footpaths in the village.
Yep.
I was talking to somebody the other day, one of the older guys in the village took his car from MOT and said he had a job to walk back along the footpath, especially by the garage, because it's especially bad. I mean, I've reported it in the past, but I'm sure lots of people have. Councillor Hill walked down the paths and said himself that it was the worst he'd ever seen, but still nothing ever gets done. Just something that probably needs the council's push behind it. So.
We can mention it. Yeah. Yeah.
Are them lights still out up there, Steve? The street lights? there's
23, 24 and 25.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
I've actually got an email now, instead of having to go on to I've actually got somebody's email address so I can contact them.
The street lighting guys were on the main road tonight, this
Right.
afternoon, about 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Because
Getting the bulbs
I've actually had an email back off them
about
No.
them lights.
about,
You would usually get an
What did they
automatic
say?
one with the Fix My Street, automatically comes back.
the Fix My Street, I found that South Stephen do not use that system for
Where's that coming back from?
That's
Four-
the music down.
4 street lights. So the ping back comes from Lincolnshire County Council
Right.
and said, nothing to do with us, you've got to contact.
No, it did, it said
SWC.
that they've got somebody onto the case and they'd be looking at it, it should be done by such and such a date, and it was,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Sometimes they'll pass the message on to South West Steve and others who don't.
So what did you get in the email response?
they were aware of them because they've been reported countless of times, and there would be a team coming out to sort them out and fix them. Because that week Roy and I had a ping back, didn't we, between each other of how many lights were out. Because Roy had gone off for a walk to see how many lights weren't working that he could report.
Well, down near June, she had about 3 out as well.
I did them
so-
all.
Well, no, I got those 3
I
done
took
before you
photos.
did those, yeah.
One at
So,
Sempringham's on all the time. And it's still on
It is,
all the
yeah.
time. It's been reported. And it's-
Outside Chris' house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
grief.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it goes back to what somebody said about them not knowing what they're doing in the council office. But all we can do is push and report it.
Now instead of me having to go through just the custom services, etc., I've actually got an email address for the lighting team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else from anybody? No? We can bring it to a close then, can we, Rena?
You
Nobody's got anything else?
But you can't start your parish council meeting for another 5 minutes.
It's all right, you can drink coffee then.
We can't do business.
Right.
Yeah, if
yourselves to,
Help yourself, tea, coffee.
yeah, if nothing else, I'll close the annual meeting then. Everyone's happy with that?